Hey, what's up guys, Lux here bringing you a new video, and today we're going to be taking a look at set 75169, the Duel on Naboo. Now, something special about this set, which you probably read in the title, was that this set in particular was the one set that got me pretty much back into Lego. After I bought this thing, I was like, I like it, let me buy another one. Then another one, then another one, then another one. But anyways, short story, I saw this on the shelf one day, and I believe it was a Best Buy out of all places, but I saw on the shelf. I was like, okay, that can be a cool little display thing, because I honestly wasn't into Star Wars. I mean, I knew the whole story. I obviously had to watch Clone Wars. I liked Star Wars, but I wasn't like watching the new movies or aware of what was happening with it. But I remember this scene for sure. Watching this Duel on YouTube numerous times, so definitely had a little bit of an impact on me. And I was like, okay, if I'm gonna buy a set, I'll buy this one, but I won't buy it today or whatever. So then like a month or two passed, then I ended up finding this in Walmart, and that's where I picked it up for like 15 bucks. But yes, that was a good deal. I didn't know at the time, but yeah, after I bought this, things kept steamrolling out of control pretty much, and now I'm in a position where I am. That was a short little backstory, but now I'm gonna take a closer look at this set. See what it has to offer, and see if it even is a good set that I picked up, and not just something cool that I saw on the shelf one day. So let's take a look at this. Alright, so first off, we're going to be taking a look at the minifigures as we do, and first off here we have Mr. Ray Park, aka Darth Maul, as known in most circles. Now this particular figure was the newer design they had at the time, where Darth Maul had that creepy smile pretty much. Me personally wasn't a huge fan of it then, not too big of a fan now. I prefer like pretty much a closed mouth or different expression. But I guess this one does work for this set in particular, because he was pretty much dominating this whole fight. Have you ever seen this duel? So it makes sense to have this expression. He comes with a dual wield lightsaber with the regular lightsaber hilt, but obviously with two red translucent pieces acting as lightsaber blades coming out of each end. And yeah, his robes aren't too special. They're your typical Sith robes that we've been getting now for a while, but at the time it worked obviously, because it's pretty much his wardrobe slash what he was wearing at the time. In the back he has a little bit of printing as well, not too much more to look at, but yeah, really great figure. And obviously not to mention the little head attachment Lego made for specifically Darth Maul, and they also use it for other Zabraks. But yeah, pretty much it. Very good figure. Not too keen on its expression, but I mean, you gotta have Darth Maul in here, or else it wouldn't be fitting. Alright, moving on. Next up here we have Liam Neeson, or more specifically, Qui-Gon Jinn. I love the hairpiece. I know that's, I never really mentioned that, but this is a good hairpiece for him, and it fits perfectly pretty much. Now, if we actually take off Qui-Gon Jinn's hair for just a second, I know, it's gonna be painful to see him without hair, but if we do it, here we go. You can actually see a second expression, which is a more shocked, surprise, or yeah, shocked or surprised face. So this is most likely given to him at the end of his life cycle, aka at the end of his duel with Darth Maul. Instead of having this confident expression, it moves on to this more obviously shocked expression, which can only really mean one thing: sad times. But at least he put up a pretty good fight in my opinion. Yeah, this was Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi Wan's master, so obviously he's instantly loved at that point. You can see a little bit of his face printing. He has like gray hairs to represent his being obviously older than Obi Wan, probably wiser as well. His green lightsaber, very nice. And if you're not too familiar with the scene, he actually gets killed in it, so spoilers. But yeah, as you can see, he has his Jedi robes as with the foot printing and the torso printing. If you see right there, the little open, what do you want to call it, robe, you can see a little bit of orange skin. At least that's what it looks like, because of the printing. It didn't come out too well to represent his skin tone, but there we have it. That's about the only real bad part about this figure, honestly. Everything else is pretty spot on and looks really good, so no complaints here. Very happy with this Qui-Gon figure. So now to move on to the last figure of the set, which is young Ian McGregor, or should I say Obi Wan as a Padawan. You can tell because he actually has the Padawan little brace right there that most Padawans have, similar to what Anakin had as a Padawan. Pretty much any Padawan that you see in the prequel era Star Wars. But anyways, moving on. He has his blue lightsaber as the accessory, obviously. and he has a very like smooth. This, I believe this was the Han Solo hair. It obviously wasn't first used for him, but so a pretty outdated piece. However, he does have a second expression as well. If you just take off the hairpiece, he has a more upset, angered expression, if you want to call it that. Probably right after he saw his master die, he goes off in a lightsaber combat against Maul. But yeah, he has the typical Jedi robes. Again, it has a little printing issue to represent the flesh, but again, that you can call that a nitpick if you want, but definitely don't want too many of those discolorations in your minifigures. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Obi Wan here. Padawan Obi Wan, that never about to get, especially since we mostly get Obi Wan in either his episode 4 or episode 3 form. Now moving on to the build. Alright, now let us take a closer look at the set. And let's take a look at the features, starting over here from the back where Obi Wan's located. Now back here you can see a little like mechanism, like piston type thing. Now this is meant to control this ray shield, or at least in the movie that's what it was supposed to be. This is a ray shield or door that separates Obi Wan from Qui-Gon Jinn and Darth Maul's fight. So he had to sit there and just pretty much watch his master die, which, you know, continues the fight in a pretty spectacle manner. But anyways, back to the set. If you actually push down on this, it opens it up. Well, assuming Qui-Gon not being in the way, it opens it up all the way, and then you obviously just put it back and it closes it. So yeah, pretty cool feature they included here. Obviously you can see down there, uses a lot of Technic pieces to make this work, as most, you know, mechanisms used nowadays in Lego. But yeah, now moving on, we're going to move on to the bottom here. It's actually a little bit more detail. Obviously we have the little pillar here holding up Obi Wan, but down here we have a little, I believe it's one of those generators that from the area they were fighting in. I never really knew where they were fighting. It really looked like a generator room, so that's what I'm classifying it as. And yeah, here is a pretty small version of that. I like that. They use a bunch of these translucent pink, like circular tiles, I guess. I don't really know the specific piece, and I don't know. I think it fits. I don't know why. I just think it fits because of all the colors. It was like a reddish, brightish red or pink color that was flashing during the beginning of the duel scene. So I think that's a pretty neat feature to add there. It doesn't really add or take away anything from the set. It's more like visual noise, but it's not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. All right, now moving on to the actual like final duel area over here. Obviously down here there's not too much to look at. It's just a bunch of structure for the actual top part. Here we can see the room. It's a lot smaller than the actual one, obviously, because it's a Lego playset for the most part. But it gets a point across. Back here we have a little wall just to give out the idea that this was all like closed off. So having one little wall there is a pretty good inclusion. This is a sticker. It's a very big sticker in there. So once it's put in there, it's going to be pretty hard to get out. So once it's put in there, it's going to be really hard to get out. Try not to ruin it because it might look awful. Obviously, we can see the layout of this. It's a circular room, as I mentioned before. You can see some translucent light blue tiles on all 4 sides. And I think it definitely has a bit of character. Not a bad inclusion. We also have the hole, the pits, where both Darth Maul and Obi Wan fall in. But only one comes out victorious. And this is a pretty good area for for you to pretend fight pretty much, or just set up your figures if you're into that instead. But yeah, let's actually show you this pit feature in action. Alright, there we have it. This is pretty much the end of the duel, where you see Obi Wan is trapped down there and Darth Maul has the high ground in this scenario. But down here you can actually see a little mechanism. It's very loose, it's not connected to anything. It's just loosely let there, and it's only being held because there's no room for the actual main structure to get out, which I'll show you the actual feature of right now. You actually press down on it. You have to do it with a little bit of force, that way it works properly. But if we start pushing down on it, you saw Obi-Wan go flying right there. Let me try to get you a better eye angle for you guys. Now here you can actually see me doing the action. If I just push down on it, he should come flying out. You can see him, he flew out, but he went back in. It's, you know, you don't always get it perfect the first time, but you guys get the idea. He flies out, gets Qui-Gon's lightsaber, cuts him all in half because he was too cocky. Yeah, I'll just let him fly in there. It's more of a play feature for the younger audience to enjoy. It doesn't really work as intended. It can work as intended, it's just not perfect, but I don't think it's meant to be perfect. I'm pretty sure it's just, like I mentioned before, a play feature. I'll give you guys one last look from this perspective, and there he goes. Still struggling to get out, but he does get out occasionally. There he goes. But there we go, guys. That's pretty much the whole set. As the first set that I picked up and got me back into LEGO, I think I picked a pretty good one. For its original price, I think it should have been a little lower, but you can say that about any set. There are definitely some fun features, but you can really do without them. The figures are like the main part as well. But having a replica of this whole duel, as well as the inclusion with these great figures, I'd say it's a pretty good value if you want to justify it. But I'm definitely happy for picking up this set for the price I actually paid, which was pretty much half off. We can also take a look at the little catalog or what they had available in that year as well, since I have the instructions. There we go. There's the sets. There's a bunch of Rogue One stuff. That's a good battle pack up there. That's a really good one that I didn't pick up. We got the Ghost with, I believe, it has Admiral Thrawn, the Y-Wing, and the Bunker Assault. I forgot the actual name. The Attack on Scare. Something like that. But yeah, Rogue One sets, Rebel sets, and prequel / Clone Wars sets. Because that TIE Fighter there is actually Yoda's from one of Season 6 last episodes. So, but yeah, pretty good, well-rounded wave. They cover pretty much all the basics here, except maybe episode 7 that was out at the time. But anyways, guys, like I said previously, that's pretty much it. Really enjoyed the set. Happy to get it. Glad I got back into LEGO, obviously. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed, you know what to do. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.